Forward. Okay. So just grab anything you need to feel comfortable. I'm going to grab some oils today just for some grounding. I think I'm going to use something with lavender today. So just if you want to use some oils, you can grab them. If you have a candle or something you like, feel free to light it. We're just going to take a few breaths to really get grounded. If you have oils, you can warm them between your hands. You can breathe in. Just start in a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. And if you chose to pull up the playlist, it is the Soothe the Soul playlist on Spotify. And we're just going to start it by hitting the first song in 3, 2, 1. And just start to come into your body, just sitting in an easy position, whatever feels right in your body. And just noticing what's going on for you. Seeing if you notice any anxiety or worry, anything you need to let go of, anything distracting you. Just kind of notice it and let it slip away. Maybe imagine it like some of the raindrops outside just washing away, or leaves on a stream, whatever imagery you need just to kind of let go of whatever you're coming to the mat with today. I'm just starting to notice your breath a little bit. Just noticing where it's at in your body. If it's higher up in your chest or lower towards your belly. Just being curious about what's going on with your breath. And then checking in with your body and just noticing some of your physical sensations. Lots of permission to make any adjustments. If you're sitting and you're like, this doesn't feel comfortable, you can move out of easy pose and just sit some way that feels right to you. Whatever works, just kind of noticing what your body needs. And then dipping a little bit further inside and just asking yourself, what do you need emotionally today from your practice or from breath work? Maybe you don't know, but just kind of get curious, turn your attention towards what you might need emotionally. And then starting to just deepen your breath a little bit, making the inhale a little bit longer and the exhale a little longer. Inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. And bringing your arms up to the sky on an inhale. Exhale, twisting to the left. Look over back shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. One more time on your own breath. When you get to the center, just interlace your palms, or interlace your fingers, palms to the sky, and just stretch. And then exhale, fold all the way forward, hinging at the hips. And just wherever your legs are. If you are in easy pose, just folding over. If there's somewhere else, just fold over as much as is comfortable. And just release in this position. Inhaling back up to center. Exhale, making some circles with your body at your hips. Exhaling as you're coming down. Inhale up. And just syncing this with your own breath. Do 3 cycles of breath to the left. And when you get through with that, 3 cycles of breath to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, sign it out. Inhale, heart lifts, chest lifts, seated cat. Exhale, round over, seated cow. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, back to center. Inhale, left arm up and over, just gently pulling your neck to meet your shoulder. Gentle stretch on the exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. I think my breaths are off. Inhale, arm up. Gently pull your head over your shoulder on an exhale. Inhale, back to center. And exhale your hand down. And then just look over as far as you can to the left on an exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back to center. And just take a second just to establish your intention, anything you want to accomplish today, however you want to show up for yourself. Just take a second just to maybe even come to a space of connection, just to kind of send yourself with some gratitude for showing up to practice today. When that feels good, just coming over onto all fours. If you're having some ankle problems and this doesn't feel right to you, lots of permission just to kind of like not put a lot of weight on your feet. Like kind of, yeah. And if you've got some arm stuff or wrist stuff going on, like just take care of yourself however you want. If you want to just come back into a child's pose, feel free. So inhale, left arm up, right leg up. And exhale, bring them all the way in. Inhale out. Exhale, bring them all the way in. One more. Inhale out. Exhale all the way in. And come back down. Get reset again. Just make sure everything feels like it's in alignment. This time, right arm, left leg. So inhale as they stretch out. Exhale, bring them on in. Inhale all the way out. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale. Exhale in. Come back down to all fours. Widen your knees just a little bit and sit back into a child's pose. Arms over your head if it feels comfortable in your body, so stretched out. And with that, kind of tipping your fingertips up so you're really kind of like on your fingertips and feeling a stretch through your shoulders, your upper back, your traps. Maybe even wiggle around in it just to stretch one side and then the other. And then walk your fingertips over to the left. So your body's also kind of going to go with it. So it's like a little bit of a twist. You'll feel a stretch in one side over the other. Just rest here for a second. Inhale, creeping your fingers back to center. Exhale, creeping them over to the other side, taking your upper body with you. Just release here. Inhaling back to center. You can move your hands back like closer to your head now if you want to, if that feels good whenever we go into some of our twists, but totally feel free to do that. So inhale, opening up one side really high into a twist, and exhale, threading the needle, coming through, coming down on that shoulder, palm up. And just release here for 5 cycles of your own breath. And on your 5th breath, on the exhale, just coming back to center. Inhale, open up on the other side, really big. Exhale, thread the needle, come down on that shoulder, palm up. Again, about 5 cycles of your own breath. And on an exhale, coming back to center. And just resting here for just a couple more breaths. And inhaling back to tabletop. Checking to make sure wrists are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Make sure you feel nice and stable. Then tip your toes. And on an exhale, imagine a thread pulling your hips up to the sky into down dog. The goal is not to necessarily pull your heels to the ground. It's just to have that sensation of your tailbone reaching to the sky. Walk your dog out if you'd like to, just kind of climbing right and left. If you're feeling weight in your wrists, readjust and really feel that sensation of your tailbone coming to the sky so that the weight's off your wrist. And then on an inhale, looking forward, and an exhale, getting to the top of the mat however you'd like. You can take some baby steps, you can jump, whatever feels right to you, but coming up to a forward fold. Bringing belly to thighs, so bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly to your thighs. And then you can just straighten them a teeny tiny bit until it feels right to you. Inhale, hinge at the hips, coming all the way up, reaching for the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. I hate when my camera cuts the top of my head off when we get to standing, but it's okay. I'm just taking a second just to round your shoulders back, arms open wide, feet about hips width apart. Just feeling powerful, really accessing your own energy and mountain pose, just taking a second just to kind of draw some energy in from the world around you. And letting a big sigh out. Breathing in again. And sighing it out. Breathing in one more time. Big sigh. Beautiful. Inhaling your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come into another forward fold. Bend your knees again just so you're comfortable. Inhale, halfway lift, so your back is straight, coming up halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground. Inhale, hinge at the hips, coming up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hinge at the hips, coming all the way up, grabbing for the sun. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take just one breath here. One more round. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hinge at the hips, coming all the way up, grabbing for the sun again. And exhale, hands to heart center. And pause here. Take a couple rounds of breath and really turn your focus inward. Just noticing what's going on for you with your breath, your heart, your body, any feelings or judgments that are coming up about movement, or did I get my breath right, or anything like that. And just sigh it out. Just letting go of all of that, all the expectations, all the judgments, just letting them go. And just check in and see if there's anything your body needs. Does it need you to move slower? Does it need you to pause? Really listen to it. One more breath here. Okay, we're gonna do one round of just Sun A, and so this will involve like wrists and ankles and stuff. So just come down to the ground if that doesn't feel right to you, okay? But the invitation is that we're gonna do that. So inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into plank, or just come all the way down. But if you're in plank, stay there. And on an exhale, shift forward and come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, push up into cobra just with your elbows bent just a little bit. And exhale, tip your toes and come back into a downward facing dog. Again, remember, we just want that sensation of our tailbone going to the sky. We do not want to try to push our heels down or anything. And just breathe here for about 3 breaths. Inhale, looking forward to the top of your mat. And exhale, getting there however you want. Again, you can take baby steps like this. You can walk your hands back, whatever works for you, but coming down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hinge at the hips, reach all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. And really just adopt just a smile on your face, even if it feels kind of forced or just it's not really in alignment, just to see what it feels like, just to kind of put a small smile, just kind of giving yourself some praise for like pushing through some of the stuff that can be hard for us sometimes. Wonderful. Keeping your right foot pointing forward, take your left foot, step wide, and point it in this direction so it's perpendicular, coming into warrior 2. So my heel of my front foot is bisecting the arch of my back foot. I want to check my hips real quick and make sure they're facing forward, but my knee's still tracking back over my foot. So just make some little adjustments. It might feel kind of funny, but it'll get you a good stable base. Inhale your arms up wide to a T and gaze over that front hand, the bent leg. Just feel powerful for a second. Inhale, flip the front hand up, and exhale, bring it up and your back hand down, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior 2, And exhale, front arm down to your front thigh, back arm over your head, extended side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, bring your front hand down to your front ankle and your back hand is up wide. And exhale that hand down to meet your other ankle. And just hang out here for just a second, really feeling that stretch in the front hamstring, the front calf. And on an inhale, walking your hands over to the center. You can twist that front foot with it. So both feet can be pointing forward or diagonal, whatever feels right in your body. And exhale into a forward fold. So that forward fold could look like a halfway lift where your hands are just kind of tented on the ground, like whatever feels right in your body. And just exhale really loud here on one of your breaths. Maybe even make it audible. There's a lot that our vagus nerve benefits from when we make an audible sigh. And one more breath here. Bringing your hands to your hips. On an inhale, just hinge at your hips, coming all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders back. We've lovingly dubbed this the Wonder Woman pose. And then when it feels right, turn your left foot forward this time, or if you're backwards, whatever foot you didn't just do. Make sure that it's bisecting the arch of your back foot, checking your hips, they're forward, but your knees still kind of tracking over that middle toe. Inhale, arms up to a T. Just stay powerful here for a second, just breathe. Inhale, flip the front palm up. Exhale, back hand comes down, front arm comes up, reverse warrior. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, the opposite direction, front arm comes to front leg, extended side angle. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg, left hand to left ankle, and open wide. You can even just take a breath here if you're off. And on an exhale, bringing that hand down to meet your other hand and taking a couple breaths here, feeling that stretch in your hamstring and calf. And exhale, bringing your hands to the center, walking your feet forward also. And we're just gonna fold over, wide-legged forward fold. And again, just some audible sighs here if that feels right. And just releasing. And inhaling your hands to your hips and hinging up all the way, rolling your shoulders back once again. Powerful. And then walking your legs together so your feet come back to center. And just taking a second to kind of shake it off. We were kind of extended and all of that for a second. So your hip flexors might be feeling it. Your feet might have been feeling it from gripping the mat. So just kind of letting your body, just acknowledging, yep, I hear you. And just taking a second just to kind of go back to a space of connection, whether that's hand over heart, hand over belly, or hands at heart center, whatever that feels like to you. And just taking a second to check in with yourself, check in with your body, with your emotional self, with your breath. Take a sip of water if you need to. And as you stand here, just the invitation for some inquiry on what does balance look like right now in your life? How balanced or off balance are you feeling? How are you in some of your recovery work or some of your meditation or whatever you're dealing with? Just, do you feel balanced? Does something feel off? And then we're just going to use the next series just to kind of play with that a little bit of kind of finding our balance emotionally and physically. So bringing some of your weight over onto your right leg, bring your left leg up, and then bringing it either to your ankle, your calf, or up into your thigh, just not your knee, whatever feels right to you today. And finding the point where this foot and this leg are really pressing together and creating this upward kind of balance. You can bring your hands to your heart center if you want to and just stay here for a second, just kind of feel it out. If you wobble, just taking a second to see, do I need to come back into it? Do I need to pause? Do I need to change positions? Yeah, just kind of playing around with it. And inhaling your arms all the way up and just growing your tree and feeling balance here. Again, trying to really feel that center channel of energy. And it's okay if you're up in a higher position and you're like, it doesn't feel right. Come down to your ankle. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just about finding balance. And then just staying here in this position, just taking a second just to see, what does this feel like? How does this represent my life? What's going on in my world? And then just letting it down whenever it feels right, dancing it out a little bit. Wonderful. Getting stable again and bringing some weight over under your left foot, bringing right up. And again, finding a space that's just not your knee where you want it to go. And I can so identify with those having ankle problems today because I did something to my left ankle. So I'm going to be gentle with myself and just stay right down here. But I'm still finding balance. So just take a second to kind of check in and figure out what you need. And you can grow your tree as you feel ready. Again, just checking in with yourself. How does this side mimic your life, or how does this show up in different areas of balance in your life? And exhaling, coming down, kind of shaking it out a little bit also. And I'm going to bring it down to the mat. So just get down to the mat however you'd like. If you want to take a vinyasa, if you just want to come down on all fours, whatever feels right to you. And swinging your legs out and around and just stretching them in front of you. Really getting stable, your tailbone to the mat, feeling that sense of alignment in your torso, really rolling your shoulders back, trying to feel that engagement and that alignment, flexing your feet if you can, just to create that L shape, and just breathing here. And then on an exhale, walking your fingers forward, hinging at the hips, coming down any amount. You could stop right here if that feels like it feels right for you, or you can come further down and just release wherever you want to. You can hold onto your toes, your feet, your ankles, your shins. That does not matter. Just whatever feels right to you to release in this fold. We're going to stay with this for about 10 breaths. And whenever you get to your 10th breath, just bringing yourself back up to seated. And then bringing your soles of your feet together, wherever you'd like them. They can be further in, they can be further out, whatever feels right to you. You can hold on to your feet or your ankles or your shins again. Just taking a second even to grow tall here, rolling your shoulders back, feeling that sense of engagement like you just did in that forward fold. And exhaling, hinging at the hips and coming over any amount. And whenever you feel kind of that point of tension, just letting your head and your upper body just fold over the rest of the way. Again, about 10 breaths here. And that feels right to you, coming up slowly, growing tall, and just staying with your breath for another breath or two. Wonderful. Now, yeah, I'm gonna change something up a little bit. Coming over onto your back, just letting yourself fall down, knees bent, hands in contact with the ground. Just stay right here for a second. Stay with your breath. Just notice what it feels like to let your body rest. And just think about all the stuff you're trying to balance in your life. How are you letting yourself rest and recuperate, and just give yourself some time and space? And then scooting your feet just a little bit closer to your tailbone and kind of coming onto the tops of your shoulders just a little bit, not a whole lot. So you're just a very, very, very gentle back bend. And using this position to bridge our hips up on the inhale, gives us just a little bit deeper bridge. And exhale, bringing it back down. Up on the inhale. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One last time, inhale up. Exhale down. And then for a restorative bridge, an invitation, if you have a block and you want to use it, you can totally grab that. You can just come up and chill right here. Or if you'd like, bringing your hands underneath your seat, so you're kind of rolling back onto the tops of your shoulders if that feels right, and clasping your hands underneath. It's just another way to open up our chest. I'm just going to stay with this for about 5 breaths. And on an exhale, just coming back down and hugging your knees into your chest, just rocking around a little bit. And then you guys are pretty familiar with what we usually do for a hip opener. So for the recording's purposes, I'm going to show you. So left foot would stay down. I'm going to cross right foot over, gently press on my thigh to open it up a little bit if I'd like. Can bring in the opposite hamstring for a deeper stretch. For everybody here in class, if you want to, and if you don't have an ankle problem going on, invitation to go into a pigeon, which is a little bit deeper stretch. You can totally stay right there where I just put you. Or if you'd like to, just coming up into a down dog. Inhaling your right leg up. And exhaling, bringing it through, laying it down on the outside of your lower leg. So it's kind of at a 90-degree angle or 45, whatever you got. And just right here, just kind of sinking into your hip, finding that spot where you're really feeling a stretch. And then you can fold over if you'd like to. Wherever you're at, we're going to stay there for, I'm going to count to my 8th breath. So it's a nice medium between the two. And coming out of that with, if you're on the ground, just bringing your feet down. If you're in pigeon, just coming up into another down dog. Those of you on the ground, just cross over the opposite side. If you're in pigeon, left leg comes up, comes through and over on the outside of your lower leg. Really finding that space where you're feeling the stretch. And then exhaling, folding over onto your forearms. And I'll count about the same amount of breaths. And then your next breath, just coming out of it. Again, just bring your feet to the ground, or if you're in pigeon, just coming up to down dog. And then if you're in pigeon, you can jump through to Malasana if you'd like and just take a little squat here. And if you're on the ground, just taking a second, or if you're in Malasana, wherever you're at, just taking a second just to kind of thank yourself for whatever you chose, because no matter what you chose, what I hear is that you're listening to your body, to your desires, to your wishes, and that's some good stuff right there. And if you're in Malasana, just coming down onto your seat, staying where you're at if you're on the ground. Coming onto our back. And inhaling your hips up just a little bit. Exhaling, dropping it over to one side and letting your knees fall the rest of the way. Arms out to a T, looking over the opposite shoulder if you'd like. And just side out. We're going to hold this for about 10 breaths. And exhaling back to center. Just adjusting your hips again. Making them straight and then picking them up and dropping them about an inch to the opposite side. Letting your knees fall over the rest of the way. Arms are out to a T. Looking over opposite shoulder if you'd like. Again, one big sigh out. And just staying with this for about 10 breaths. And on the next exhale, coming back to center and adjusting and bringing your knees in and using your hands to kind of work your hips a little bit in circles. So you're kind of bringing it in and out, in and out. And switch directions when it feels right. And then dropping one of your legs out straight, leaving the other one bent, and then rolling just some individual hip circles with it. So you can roll it out, you can roll it in. They can be big, they can be little. Any kind of movement. We're just loving on that hip joint. It takes so much of our beatings every day as we walk, as we sit, as we work, as we do everything. And switching legs, just making circles with that other hip. And going opposite direction, whatever you'd like. And bringing them down to the mat, but making your legs be a little bit wider. So like maybe the length of the width of the mat. And then just windshield wipering back and forth, exhaling as you go to one side, inhaling them up, exhaling the other side. Just take that with your own breath. Using the movement to even slow your breaths down. Sometimes it's hard to do this one slow because we just want to go back and forth so fast. Staying with it for about 2 more cycles. And then just finishing whenever it feels even, whatever side you started on, just ending up there. And then invitation for our favorite inversion, legs up a wall or on a chair or whatever you desire. If you want to stay here on the ground, you can bring your legs just up into waterfall, feet flexed. If you want to place a block underneath, you can bring them up into waterfall with a block. Whatever feels right to you. Just shoulder stands in your practice, feel free to take it. And just releasing, really feeling all that tension and gunk that gets so stuck in our feet, our lower extremities. Feel it flowing back to our torso where our energetic system can deal with it. As you stay here for a couple more breaths, just visualizing anything else energetically that you just need your nervous system to just handle and flush out by the end of this practice. If there's anything you just need to release and get rid of, just imagining it flowing back down towards your torso as well. Just taking 2 more breaths here. And coming back down from wherever you're at, just gently bringing yourself out of it. And on your way back down, if there's anything you need to grab for Shavasana, if you need to dim the lights, if you need a blanket, if you need some water, whatever is really going to help you settle in, go for it. And coming into this position, legs wide, arms wide, taking up space, just take a second just to take stock of what else your body might need. And just notice if there's any lingering tension. there's anything else that you're holding on to, you need to let go of. And if that is the case, just breathing in as you tense your whole body up, every muscle group. And exhale, releasing into the mat with a big sigh. Slowly let your eyes close. We're just going to drift off into stillness for a few minutes. Beginning to deepen your breath. Bringing some awareness into your fingers and your toes. Maybe even a big stretch if that feels right to you. Rolling over to your favorite side and curling up just for a second in the fetal position. This is slow re-entry into the world. Coming up to seated, just as gentle as you can. And just taking a second to just be present with yourself, not doing anything, not looking for anything. And the invitation just to support balance and to finish us off. So take your left ankle, cross it over your right ankle. Point your thumbs down. So instead of my palms facing, the backs of my hands are facing. I'm going to take my left hand over my right and clasp hands. I'm going to bring it in and to myself like a hug. Yeah. Just take a second just to look down at your feet and just breathe for about 5 breaths. And just untwist. Just a little exercise when you need to get balanced, you need to get everything kind of centered again that maybe you'll throw into your toolbox. And so inhale your arms up and exhale them to heart center. I wish you all balance and peace this week and into the weekend. The badass in me bows with deep, deep gratitude to the badass in you. We are one. Namaste.